Hey folks, welcome to Airtime Paintball, where people come to get all the information they need to get great values on paintball stuff. And today, we're going to take just a few minutes and talk about this mech paintball craze and how to get in on it on pretty short money. Mech paintball is becoming more and more popular all the time. We see tournaments popping up that are mech-only tournaments. We've got the ICPL that just like sells out in 1 minute every year. Well, I shouldn't say every year, this year, right? Super fast. That's all mech tournament. We see fields with mech-only days, and we see a lot of people who played paintball maybe back in the day like I did who have come back, and they just like to use their old school stuff, and they like mech guns. So whatever the reason, maybe you want to get in on some of this mech paintball action. Maybe you want to not quite shoot so much paint. Maybe you just think it's cool. Maybe your team's going to play some mech-only tournaments. Who knows? But a lot of us have our setups pretty much all done, and maybe we don't want to spend a ton of money just to also get into playing mech. So I just want to take a few minutes and talk about how you can get a mech gun on pretty short money and have a ball with it. So I'm going to start out with the old school. And here we have an autococker. Pretty much anybody watching this video is going to know what an autococker is. This is an older model made by WGP when they were around, called a Pro Stock. And you can see it has pretty cool milling on it. Now, for today's paintball players, you might not think this is that cool a milling, but if you're old like I am, you remember when autococker was just like a solid rectangular block of black aluminum with no grooves in it. So these have a good quality HPR, LPRs on the front. And in general, they're really good shooting guns. I mean, this thing rips. It's really good to shoot. It doesn't have the fastest trigger ever. And is it as good as a $1,500 custom Inception autococker or whatever? No. But it shoots great. The trigger's good, and it looks cool. So I was talking about the milling. I can tell you that, well, I'm going to just cut right to the chase here. I paid $185 for this, and it shoots great. Now, if you were able to take this in a time machine and bring it back to 1998, this is like a $900 autococker. I mean, there's just nothing cheap about it. It feels good. The parts are very high quality. Like I said, the milling is nice. The finish is really good. One thing to pay attention to on these, I did put an aftermarket barrel on here, and if you saw my video about the disruptive paintball stuff, this is a disruptive paintball barrel, and I did it to get a smaller bore. Now, I'm not a huge bore matching guy. However, autocockers fire from a closed bolt, meaning when this, I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, I'm going to try. When it comes back and the ball feeds in, you can see that's open there. But when the gun fires, the bolt, it does so, I'm not doing this in sequence for you. It comes back, lets the ball in, and then closes, okay? And that pushes the ball past this ball detent in front of the feed tube, okay? So if the barrel, and the barrel that came with this is big, if it's a big barrel, because it's old, right? Old paint was bigger. The ball can just roll right out, and you don't want that to happen. If the ball rolls partially out, then you fire, you can break paint in there, or get wild velocity fluctuation, or the thing can just roll all the way out, and you don't get a shot. You don't get a ball out when you fire. You don't want that. So it is important to put to match your bore to some extent to your paint with an autococker, so that you don't have paint rolling out the front of the barrel. So I did add that. That was $30 for me to put this barrel on. And yeah, so I've got under $220 into this say. And it shoots great, super fun. Autocockers are kind of heavy, especially if you're used to these modern guns. I mean, if you shoot a shocker like an RSX or an XLS, or say a DSR, this thing is going to feel like you're holding two guns at once. But I don't notice it when I play. I think they're a ball. So if you want to get into mech, and you think autocockers are interesting from back in the day, or maybe you're a returning player like I was, and you're trying to, you remember how a good autococker used to be $1,000, well, find one of these. They're cheap and they're awesome. All right? Okay. So, oh, I'm sorry, one more thing we have to mention about this. One issue with these is you don't necessarily want this is because of that issue, you don't want a force feed hopper to be jamming paint into this as hard as it possibly can. I use one of these hoppers. This is a JT Revy. If you played old school paintball, you remember these Revolution hoppers. It just has an agitator. It's not force feed. You can buy these brand new for like 30 bucks, and they have a piece that spins around inside that agitates the paint. so that it feeds. It'll feed like 10, 11 balls a second, no problem. Super reliable. They've been around for like 100 years. But at the end of the day, it's still just letting the paint fall versus forcing it in. So you don't run into issues where when the bolt is open, like if you're shooting this slowly and deliberately, the bolt will come back and stay open, and a force feed hopper might feed a couple of paintballs at once into there, and you don't want that, obviously, right? So, yeah, you might want to consider the $30 additional investment in something like that if you're going to shoot an autococker. Okay, so another gun that makes a great value for a mech gun, this is a gtek. This is my son's gun. He loves this thing. These were sold originally, I believe they were all sold originally as electronic guns, and then they came out with the mech frame, but I'm not sure if it came out at the same time or not. But in any case, this gun was delivered as a regular gtek with a double electronic trigger, like we're all used to shooting, right? And then there's this add-on mech frame. But apart from that, it's still a gtek. You still have the gamma core, and if you're not familiar with these or you're just starting out, the thing that's notable about the gamma core is, except for a couple of guns that are just now about to hit the market, every current Planet Eclipse gun that's made shoots the gamma core. And so when you buy this gun, and I bought this one used with the mech, with both frames, electronic and mech frame, for $300, and the thing absolutely rips. It shoots awesome, and it's got the same core as a $1,500 CS2. Now, it isn't precisely exactly the same. Every iteration, they've done small updates to it, but like the operation principle is the same. Like you're essentially getting the same technology as far as the engine in this gun that you get with a $1,500 CS2. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And they look cool. The stock barrels are really good. You can get other backs that will attach to this. I don't know if you can still buy the ones that have the exact same appearance, but in any case, they're cocker threaded like all modern barrels, mostly, except for shockers. So you can find barrels, no problem if you want to run different ones. But yeah, $300, and the thing that's cool is for $300, you're getting a mech gun and an electronic gun. You just swap the frame, and the electronic frame still has eyes. Like, it's all the regular stuff you find in a regular paintball gun that we use today, electronics, right? Just with the ability of putting on a mech frame. $300, shoots awesome. No other special considerations. I was mentioning different things about the autococker as far as you don't use a force feed hopper, and make sure you bore match or the ball will roll out. No such compromise with this. It's exactly the same as what you're used to in every way, except for you put a mech trigger on it. That's it. And these things rip with the mech trigger. I mean, they're really fun to shoot. So yeah, $300. And that's everything I wanted to cover today as far as mech paintball. What do you think about it? What do you think is a good value for mech guns? Are there other ones that you want to hear us talk about, or you want to have a review on them? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.